Morning drive. Here we go, baby. It is Tuesday, May the something. Who knows? It is a rainy day here in Ohio, and we are headed to work. I work downtown where I'm at, work out of California, but have an office downtown where I live. And I like driving there and getting it done. So, what are we talking about today? I was just listening to Jordan Peterson. You should check this guy out. Very interesting psychology professor, college professor. He got at the center of the free speech debate that's going on recently. There's a bill up in Canada that requires people to use selected gender pronouns. Kind of a debate that's going on in America, but he's up in Canada, and it was going on even stronger over there. And he really spoke out against that law, which didn't make him popular because, modern social norms are going in the direction of transgender rights and alternative pronouns and non-binary, all that world. Sorry, my garage door's broken, so I'm here fiddling with it, trying to get it to stay down. Success! Alright, we're in drive. Look for anyone so we don't hit anybody. And we are onward and upward, my friends. So anyways, this Jordan Peterson guy... Wait, that looks like Norm's basketball. Well, let's get out and grab it. 1 second, buddies. Driving to work. Kids' basketball's in the road. Onward and upward. Free speech. So, Jordan Peterson's an interesting guy. Very psychologically dense. My wife's like, I don't want to listen to him anymore. He's too intense. He's like, this is the way the world is. This is what you should believe. And if you're not doing it every day of your life, you're wasting your life. Which is kind of a good message. Somewhat inspirational. But also a little intimidating. I mean, sometimes you want to be intense, and sometimes you want to improve your life, and sometimes you just got to relax. You just had a long day, and you need to chill out. And Jordan Peterson is not the guy for that. But what I respect about him, he has this ethos that actually the world is a hard, kind of junky place. And it's very easy to turn, in a sense, evil, to turn bad, to turn bitter, to despise yourself, to despise other people, to take it out on yourself, to take it out on other people. But then he has these tools to use to not become bitter, to not become evil, to understand the world, to rectify yourself with the reality of this world. And one of the things he says is central to that is free speech, is the ability to communicate with one another, that we all look at this world. And if we were to honestly assess the world, we would come up with different assessments. We would come up with different points of view. This is a common idea. But basically he says it's then speech, it's then honest communication with one another that's necessary to hash that out, to understand this world together. It's necessary for society. So that's why free speech is so important to him. And something that he feels impedes on free speech, he was going to fight against. Now, the transgender rights issue is a sensitive one. It's kind of, in a sense, like a modern civil rights issue and this and that. And so I think it's important to note that to Jordan Peterson, he would want to separate out what he would personally do, what he would personally do from what the government would legally require someone to do. In that, I've heard him say, if someone asked him to use a certain gender pronoun in speaking to him, he probably would do it. But to have the government begin to regulate language legally, he is fighting against as a dangerous precedent. So that's the context of where he's going there. Excuse me, getting over a cold here. Anywho, on to work, rainy day. Thinking about doing jiu-jitsu today. It's something I've gotten into and am very much enjoying, but was sick recently. You can't really go roll martial arts when you're not feeling well. But I'm just coming over it, thinking about getting into it. Alright, what else? Where are we at? I'm still trying to find that audience for my message, for my mission. I think I can be a conduit. I can be a person in this world of a million angles coming in. I love studying. I love taking it in. Pretty much every night I'm up till 3 a.m. just watching videos. I just can't help it. That's just the way I am. And I want to take that, churn it in, put it into a package, and convey that to people in a way that can be empowering for them. That's kind of what I've settled on. I want my mission to be, is the empowerment. It's things that people hear and it's like, oh, that makes me feel a little bit more free, a little bit more encouraged, a little bit more able to do the things that I want to do. And that was my video that I posted last night, the first tiny step towards freedom. And I think I'm going to continue that series. We're going to do a second tiny step towards freedom. But I've tried writing kind of in the libertarian context, in the political context, and I feel it hasn't gone well. Somehow the tones come across too aggressive, too challenging, and generally people don't respond to that tone. So I'm hoping that maybe in my videos the tone can come across a little more. You can see my hands move, and it'll let you know that, hey, I'm a nice guy. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help you. And yeah, get this message out. I've been on this, in a sense, 30-year journey, but especially this last 5-year journey of really pressing hard. And I think the last 5 years are a little important because they're coming out with beliefs and stances that are a little more unorthodox, a little more non-standard. And not that I think that makes me cool, but there's a lot of people espousing the standard ideologies, the orthodox ideologies. So I feel like maybe it brings a little more unique value if I can expound upon these more unorthodox philosophies. But I believe unorthodox but useful, but powerful, and kind of synthesizing multiple ideologies. I come from the Christian context, but now I've studied deeply the Buddhist context. But I fully understand the atheist context, and actually that was my first 15 years, the pure materialistic science atheistic context. So being able to bring a couple of these contexts together into somehow a useful, cohesive worldview, which actually I feel like I'm settling into. I feel not a ton of dissonance between the atheistic worldview, the Christian worldview, the Buddhist worldview, the quantum physics worldview. I hold all those right now, and they feel pretty good together. And so being able to contribute that out into the world, and I think that's also kind of a modern opportunity in that knowledge hasn't been ubiquitous until very recently. Only very recently with the internet can we study all of these things. Can you be deep in both Christianity and Buddhism? There might have been some people that lived somewhere and then traveled somewhere else, but for that to be accessible to the masses really is a modern phenomenon. So I'm hoping that I can digest those in my brain, bring them out to you guys, and maybe provide something useful to this world, have a useful contribution, speak something into existence that wasn't there before that can benefit people. We've arrived. I'll see you tomorrow.